Hello and welcome back to day 2 of the magical gifts of your mind and how do successful people think. How did you get on with perception yesterday? Was it a bit of an eye-opener? Well, today we are looking at reason, which is our greatest tool. It's our power to think. You've probably heard the saying, we are what we think about, many times, but have you really looked at what that means in depth? This is a very clear way to demonstrate how our higher faculties separate us from the animal kingdom. Price Pritchett has written a great book called U Squared. I highly recommend you get it. He begins by telling a story of watching a fly, as we so often do, flying at the window, desperately trying to get out. It's going at it all the time. Now, if it had the power of reason, it would look around, notice the window or the door next to it was open, and a couple of seconds would fly out. But it can't reason. It can't think like that. It lives by instinct. So unfortunately, it continues to fly at the closed window. Now you may think you think, but up to 97% of us use our reasoning to a fraction of its potential. There's a big difference between thinking, as in reasoning, and thinking, as in mental activity. We think on a daily basis about how we go about our lives using 5 senses. There are sight, hearing, touch, taste and smell. This is our mental activity. We gather information from our outside world, what other people are saying and doing, our current circumstances and what's been reported from around the world in the news. Remember the diagram I showed you in the introduction, the 2 parts of the mind. Our conscious mind, our thinking mind, that has the ability to accept or reject an idea. So we think about it, we make a decision whether we're going to take it on board or not. So we generally live our lives by routine, the habitual behaviour and those beliefs that have been instilled in us, accumulated as far back as our childhood. So we conform to our environment. For example, when you went to school, you would want to fit in with everyone, so you would probably do what your peers do. You'd dress as they dress, go to where they go, and so on. Similarly, when you start a new job, they show you the ropes, what is normally done, and you get on with it. So you make decisions, some of them big, but usually in accordance with what is normally expected. It's a fixed mindset, a bit like autopilot. So let's take your sat nav for example. You program in where you are at the moment and then you put in your destination. Now you maybe take a wrong turn or you take a detour because of traffic, and your sat nav will make corrections and bring you right back on track. So similarly, your mind will always bring you back on track in accordance with your programming. So reasoning, on the other hand, is what is so often referred to, as I've mentioned before, thinking outside the box. How can you do this differently to achieve more, change how you live, create something new? This is how successful people look at life. This is the key. They originate thought. They look for new ideas and way to do things. For example, the Wright Brothers, they decided they were going to create a machine that would enable them to fly. Something never achieved before. Edison invented the light bulb, Alexander Bell the telephone. Back then, they were considered probably mad, at best eccentric. But if you told someone back then that you could have a device that you wore on your wrist and you could speak to somebody across the other side of the world, you could share photos and documents, they'd probably have you committed. There are people currently developing all the new technology that we're seeing every day, and that's because they're thinking outside the box. They're looking for new ideas, using their higher faculties, and there are people creating lives for themselves that they desire, looking at all the different ways they can achieve this by using the power of reason. So how can you do this? You need to create your own ideas about how you want to lead your life rather than taking the proven routes that most people go down. Generally, we get our qualifications, look for a job to support the loved one of our life, get married, have some wonderful children, and this is all considered success, a gradual process of achieving something that is conforming. It's what is expected. So you want a promotion at work. You take little steps to demonstrate you are capable, and you creep up the ladder just as everybody else has done before you. However, most people are after more in life. They want a bigger house, a better job, more money for less hours, and little steps conforming is not going to see us make that massive difference in our life. And this wanting more is an innate desire to want to expand and express ourselves in a different way. But instead we need to make a quantum leap and do things differently. So you need to aim for the stars. Don't worry about how you're going to get there. Now this does involve using other higher faculties. As I always say, it'll all come together at the end. So for now, just focus what it is you want in life. So if you're unhappy and dissatisfied at work, but take the view it's all you can do, then that's where you'll stay. You are what you think about. On the other hand, just imagine you would really, and I mean really, what you really want to be doing, how you want to be earning a living, and set it as a goal. Once you've made that decision, committed to it, and in tune with all the different powers of your mind all the time, you're on the right path. From imagining it, you will originate your thoughts that will create ideas that get emotionally involved with in your subconscious mind, and then make it happen by actions through your physical body, thus creating the results that you want, not what is expected. Now, not all your ideas will work, but you'll create a different path with little adjustments to succeed. I love Edison's quote, "I did not fail, I just found 10,000 ways that don't work." Brilliant. And look what he achieved. I've trained with Bob Proctor, one of the world's masters of human potential and success. He says, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. He is a perfect example of how this works. Many years ago, he used this technique and he went from earning £4,000 a year and owing £6,000 to being a millionaire. It is based on extensive research into the science and mechanics of how successful people think. Now, Think and Grow Rich is a book by Napoleon Hill. It's what all my training is based on, and the Thinking into Results program that I facilitate, it's sort of what it's built on. Another book I highly recommend you get. I'm going to have to create a little list for you at the end so you can pick and choose which ones you want. But Think and Grow Rich is a must. This way of thinking has transformed my life, both personally and in my business world. And I've always managed to manifest a way of earning money doing something that I love and achieving great satisfaction. It's the same for so many other people, some of whom I've met, and they've got the most amazing stories. I've seen people going from being homeless to millionaires in a matter of years. So this is a path to success. It will change your life forever. Now take a look at the exercise I've given you for today, and I've given you to think about, and I'll see you again tomorrow. As always, have a wonderful day, and bye for now.